Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have uh, a great topic for today's show in which it is what can and cannot be taught in classrooms. And so let's get right into this topic. Now, this is in two parts basically, okay? The first part is Florida House Republicans advance a bill to forbid discussions of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools. Okay? And we're talking about high schools, ladies and gentlemen, not elementary schools, not kindergarten or anything else. High schools, okay? Just want to make that clear. Both of these parts are about discussions of what can and cannot be taught in classrooms in high schools. So, again, the first part is Florida House Republicans advance bill to forbid discussions of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools. The second uh, part is there's a bill being passed in Florida to make financial literacy class a prerequisite in high school. So let's get to the first part of this. Florida House Republicans advanced a bill to forbid discussions of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools. All right. You know, high schools are to prepare kids for college and the real world. Okay. This topic, the discussion about sexual orientation and gender identity is important. It's very important. All right. Because let's face facts, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? We're all adults here. Let's just call things for what they are. All right? Let's call the spade a spade, as the saying goes. When kids are in high school, they're already going to be experiencing their sexualities. All right? They're already looking at sex videos on the internet. They're already discussing about sex with their friends in high school and stuff like that. They're already discussing it. So if you think you're going to keep your kid in a bubble and protect them from all this stuff, you're not. You're not. So, but to do this right and to have these discussions with the kids and stuff like that, you know, there's been a poll taken in which parents have difficulty with discussing two topics with their children, right? One is sex and the other is money. They have a very difficult time with discussing about these topics with their children. And they want to, meaning like parents want to avoid talking about these topics and stuff like that. But these are very important topics that are not to be avoided. Seriously. And when these kids go to college or to the workforce or whatever, they're gonna face these topics. No matter what. No matter what. Now, so discussing about sexual orientation and gender identity in schools, meaning in high schools, you know, it's very important. It's very important for them um to figure this out or to look into it and you know and stuff like that. So honestly, honestly, and since we're on this part of the topic, again in Florida, all right. Notice how these discussions are all about in Florida, the Republican state. Okay, they have no problem of wanting to have the Bible taught in public schools. Okay. They're trying to have that being taught in public schools, meaning in high schools and stuff. You want that to be taught? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Because me and my siblings, we grew up in 8 years of uh, Catholic elementary school, 8 years. Okay. And three of us, okay, went to a public high school to get away from religion, to get away from all that, really. And that's what, that's part of why people go to public school, to get away from the religious garbage. All right? There's other reasons why people go to public schools, such as it's cheaper to go to and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about wearing a uniform. You can wear normal clothes and stuff like that. So there's many different reasons why people go to public schools and stuff. But one of those reasons is to get away from having religion thrown into your face. So, but I mean, and those parents in Florida have no problem with wanting that being taught in public schools, but they got a problem with kids learning about sexual orientation and gender identity. Seriously, honestly. I mean, really. I mean, but anyways, you know, and here's the other thing, you know, which is when we're talking about religion and the Bible being taught in high schools and stuff like that, but parents don't want to talk about sexual orientation, gender identity being taught in high schools. Since we're on this part of the topic, how about how about this? How about when you're wanting the Bible to be taught in high schools and stuff like that, including in public high schools? How about adding in the topic of how priests have molested little children for so many decades and decades? But you're okay with that because when that topic comes up, they go, "Oh, we don't talk about that. We sweep that under the rug." And we turn the other cheek to that. We stick our fingers in our ears, going la 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 la. Honestly, you don't talk about that when you talk about the Bible and religion and all that other stuff. Now, again, I'm not against anybody's religion. That's fine. That they whatever religion they want to believe in, that is fine. I'm just against the bull crap of uh, you know when they want to teach the Bible in public schools, and when parents don't want uh discussions of like sexual orientation and gender identity to be taught in high schools and public high schools. They don't want that to be done, but they want to have the Bible thrown into everybody's faces 24 hours, 7 days a damn week. And then they want to now have the Bible to be taught in public high schools. And yet these are the same people that would go around acting all biased and homophobic and all this other stuff. Honestly. So that's where I have the problem. Okay. Now let's get into the second part of this topic. The bill is being passed in Florida to make financial literacy class a prerequisite in high school. I mean, I'm all for this. This is fine because let me tell you something. I'm the youngest out of five kids, and um, my mother always taught us kids at a very, 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 very young age about saving money, how to open up a checking account or a bank account, and we were taught this at an extremely young age. And she was teaching us this to help us prepare for the real world. When they talk about this sort of class, you know, as a prerequisite, you know, again, high school, like I said before, is to prepare kids for college and the real world. And you know, they would be teaching things like, how to open up a checking account or a savings account. They would talk about how to fill out loan applications, uh, um, uh, and so many other things. Um, they would teach them all this, and this is a good idea. This is a very good idea. And they would talk about, how to do all these things like online and all this other stuff, the technology today. And again, I think this is all a great idea because you know what? Because like I also said before, the two topics that parents have difficulty talking to their kids about are sex and money. So if the parents are not going to step up to the plate and do this, then the schools are going to do it because they want to prepare kids for the real world. They talk about all these important topics and stuff like that. And so this is a topic that I'm all for. And this sort of topic should be taught in all high schools throughout all 50 states, you know, because it's really important because kids today, they're not taught about saving money, you know, they're not taught about how to fill out loan applications and stuff like that. They're not taught this by their parents. They're not. So if the parents are not going to do it, then the schools are, you know. And then there's so many parents that go around saying, uh, we don't want you to teach our kids all this stuff because they're not going to know what the hell to do. They're not going to listen. We got problems with these topics and blah, blah, blah. And if you're going to try to teach these topics, we as parents, we want to be involved now. All of a sudden, your dumbasses want to be involved? How about being involved from the very beginning in your child's education? How about you get your brains out of your asses and instead of avoiding these important topics, you face them head on? Seriously. But you get pissed off that the schools are going to be teaching these things. And then you're saying, oh, we now want to be involved in our kids' education. All of a sudden, you actually want to be a parent? Really? How about being a parent from day one? Honestly. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, um, like I said, these are important topics. And so, what do you guys think? Should these topics be taught in in high schools and stuff like that? You know, what do you guys think? So, anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about the business that my husband and I have together called AWLDNY. And the link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all the products on there. And all the products that you see on there, we actually make ourselves. So I wanted to mention that. And I also want to remind all my fans out there about my other business, my other website that I have called Advocate Information Highway, and the link to there is AIHNY.com. And you guys could check out all the pages on there, and you guys could check out the changes that I made to the website, all the updates that I made to the website. You guys could check all that stuff out. And on the homepage of my website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the link to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which I designed a lot of products and they're up for sale on there. Also, on the homepage of my website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the links to the two books that I wrote. And if you guys click on those links and if you follow those links, um, you guys can check out both of my books and you guys can also purchase both of my books as well. And so, with that, take care, everybody. Bye.